Hello and welcome to the NBS Construction Leaders Summit. I'm Richard Waterhouse, Chief Strategy Officer at NBS, and I am absolutely delighted to be able to welcome you to this event. We have what's been described as a stellar lineup of speakers for you over 2 days. The first day we're going to hear all about the political, the legal and technological drivers for change. We're going to see a little bit about the Building Safety Bill, about how the industry is responding to the pandemic and what might happen next, to look at modular and off-site, and also the standards and regulations around BIM and digital construction. In the second day, we're going to see a review of the industry and understand a little bit more about what the detail is that parts of the industry has to deliver. We'll also split into 2 sessions tomorrow, one for the end users, the designers and the contractors, and another session for product manufacturers. I'm giving you this talk from the NBS offices in Newcastle, and you can probably see behind me the offices are empty. All of us have had to adapt to new ways of working following the COVID pandemic. We've seen that if a major driver like the pandemic comes along, all industries can change, and construction in particular, an industry that's known for being resistant to change, has shown what is possible. Design teams, used to working co-located ways, have found that they can collaborate and communicate from their offices or from home, and they can have virtual teams working with the construction teams, still getting the input and the advice they need from manufacturers and sharing that with clients. New digital collaborative ways of working have evolved and have been delivered rapidly. It's said that a Microsoft executive noted that digital transformation that would normally have taken 2 years has taken just 2 months. And we can see that COVID hasn't really changed things, it's simply accelerated the things that were already happening. So we want to explore that with you in much more detail over these sessions. Shortly we're going to hear from the Construction Minister, Nadhim Zahawi, all about how construction will be used to help the economy, the government's view on where it will invest and what we will see coming through the line, the changes that they're likely to bring in as part of the funding that comes into the industry. Then we're going to hear from Dame Judith Hackett to understand the impact of the Building Safety Bill that is already out in draft form and is coming down the line. We're also going to hear from McKinsey and understand a little bit about the detail around their reports on the economic impacts in construction and how the industry should respond. A session later will be Mark Farmer, who will talk about modular and off-site construction and how that can ensure that the industry changes and finds new ways of delivering the buildings we all need. We'll also hear from Dr. Anne Kemp, who will tell us about the BIM standards and the internationalization of data and what that will mean for creating global industry. And lastly, we'll hear from Dr. Stephen Hamill, who'll show how NBS have responded to all of this and the things that are possible, bringing all those pieces together. We start day 2 with Paul Morell, the ex-Chief Construction Advisor, now a consultant in the industry, looking at the review of where BIM was, the expectations and where we are now, and also what might happen next. We'll hear more from McKinsey, giving a bit of detail for each of those subsectors of the industry and how they should respond. And then we're going to hear from Phil Bernstein, ex-Vice President of Strategy for Autodesk and also Professor at Yale, looking forward to what the impacts of design and construction will be in the next 10 years. Then we split into these 2 sessions. On the designers and contractors side, we're going to hear more about off-site and modular, the detail from Wilmot Dixon. We're also going to hear from Jill Kelleher in terms of the Construction Industry Innovation Hub, about quality and how we can drive the improvements in quality in new ways of working. And also Jade Lewis from the Sustainable Energy Association, looking at our low carbon future. We'll see a little bit more from NBS as well. For the manufacturers, there are some major changes coming. So for them, we have another stream. We're going to be looking at, with Peter Capelhorn, looking at the new requirements of product regulation, particularly as Brexit comes along as well, and also the requirements around competencies, the report that published just last week. Then we're going to hear from Adam Turk from the Marketing Information Group, looking at the rules of marketing construction products in this new environment, and then talk with Robin Cordy about digital marketing and the potential for manufacturers. We have a fantastic series of talks. Don't forget that whilst you can view these live and join the Q&A sessions, you will also be able to come back and view them on the mbs.com, so you can review them at a later date, share them with your colleagues, and keep going back to see what has been said. We also have the hashtag for those of you who want to talk about what's being said and entering the debate. So hashtag CLS 2020 is the hashtag to be used. So don't forget, please keep asking questions, put them onto the forum. You will see them as part of the platform, the conference platform we're using. But let's go and hear now from our first speaker. It's looking at the political aspect of construction, and I'm delighted to be able to introduce the Construction Minister, Nadhim Zahawi.